Jim's bad idea.
Alright, today I'm going to try and fix the odometer in the Soarer. It's probably the main issue that would stop this from getting a blue slip for the retro. So I managed to pick up a spare cluster, like speedo cluster from a wrecker yesterday, and we're going to try and swap out the LCD from that into the one that came with the car, which should hopefully give us the real mileage of the car, so it's all properly legal and stuff. If you swap it out for a different cluster, it's supposed to do a records change. I'm not sure if you can do that DIY. I think that you may need to be licensed to do that. I mean, you probably get away with just doing it on the slide, but I'm not really sure, so I'd rather just make it all above board. Alright, so I have the car running, obviously, probably here. So the first thing would be to get the steering wheel and get it right as far away as you can, and then this auto button, you want to make sure that that's popped out, just in case you accidentally turn it on. You don't want the steering wheel moving while you're trying to do this. Okay, while the car's still running, the next thing you want to do is get the screw out that's behind the steering wheel. So it's obviously a lot easier to turn the wheel while it's running. So there's a screw there. So we're just going to take that out, and then we're going to switch the car off. Okay, screws out, car's off. As you can see, because of the auto isn't engaged, the steering wheel has stayed where it is, which is good. So the next thing we're going to do is get rid of the shroud around the steering wheel, and to do that there is two screws underneath. There's one there, and there's one over here, and then we should be able to just pull this off, and the top part comes off as well. There's like a clip like that sits over the I don't know, the shaft, steering wheel shaft, or whatever you call it, and yeah, so this will all come off. So I've found it a bit easier to just pop this part off before removing the top cover of the steering wheel, or the steering column. It's probably the right terminology. And so this, just use like a pry tool like this in each corner, and it will just pop off. It's just got these clips on each side, and then there's two plugs, a blue one and a white one, and then you can just pull this out, and then it's easier to remove this, obviously after you've taken the screws out. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is loosen off a couple of bolts, or a couple of nuts, to allow the column to move down a bit and give some clearance to get out. So they're these black ones. There's one here, it's not focusing, there, and one on the other side there. So you just, it's a 14mm socket I'm putting on them, and I'm not taking them off, just winding them down to the bottom of the thread. Just hopefully that will allow this section to drop down a little bit and give a little bit of clearance to pull the actual dash out. Right, so loosen those off. You can see that's the effect. So now I should be able to pull this part out. It looks like it's already been out before, because there's screws missing in that corner and that corner. So there should be screws there. So you'd take them out, and the other ones are in here. There's normally a little plastic cap on that, which you need to get out with a tiny little screwdriver. These ones are missing, but there's two screws in there, and that is it, those four, and then the dash cluster can come out. Alright, so that's pulled out. There's some wiring on the back. There's 3 white plugs here, and then there's an orange plug that's kind of back there. So we've got to pull them out, and then it'll all be out. Alright, so I've got both the clusters here on the table now. So it'll just be a case of pulling them apart and swapping the screens over. Tools required, screwdriver. So it's pretty much just removing screws. So yeah, just all these screws to get this cover off. So I'll do that first. Okay, all screws removed from the white cover. So I just pull it off. And now we have more screws. Also, I believe this is the reverse alarm, which you can remove if you don't want it to chime when you're in reverse like a truck. Not really sure why that would be required, so that's probably something I'm going to do. But yeah, so we have to remove all these screws that you see on the board to pull the 2 boards apart, so that we can get this out, which has got the globes and stuff to illuminate the display, and behind there is also where the screen is. So it's these kind of I don't know, brownie kind of coloured ones that we need to take out first, and then these ones will come out second. So yeah, we'll pull these ones out now. Okay, with all of the screws out of the first board, including the silver ones, which have these little kind of flat nuts behind them, so make sure you don't lose those. So just kind of stick your finger behind as you unscrew it to catch those. Now the boards can be pulled apart, and this in here is the screen, the LCD screens, which is what we're all after. So it's just a case of removing these other silver screws, which also have those same flat nuts behind them, and then you can get that whole section out which has the LCDs. Okay, all of the screws removed, so this should just come out now. Oh, and there it is. So this one is the odometer, but the other one can go bad as well, I believe. So we'll show you what it looks like, but it's a bit hard to do one-handed. I'll just get it out. So yeah, that is the screen, and you can see if I hold it up to the light, it's you've got a dark rectangle that's the whole way. That's a good one. I will disassemble this one now, which is the original one, and I'm going to show the difference. I'm not going to film disassembling that, it's obviously exactly the same. Okay, as a comparison, see there's no dark grey rectangle like the other one. It's all obviously stuffed. So yeah, put it all back together now and see if it works. Alright, so that's the original dash all put back together, minus the speaker and with the LCD replaced. So now let's go put it in the car and see if it actually works. Alright, moment of truth. Well, that's not working. back. Maybe I've misaligned something. I'm gonna have to pull it back out and go back upstairs and take it back apart. That sucks. Okay, moment of truth, take 2. That looks better. And there we go. That is basically in line with what the guy that sold it to me said in terms of the kilometers, so that's great. Okay, time to test out the reverse. So here goes. There we go, nothing. Got my shift position, odometer, no beeping. Right, bit of a hiccup halfway through, but overall, success. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that I needed to do to get this ready for Rego. Biggest thing that I know of. The door's obviously not quite closed. There we go, got rid of that one. So yeah, all good. Thanks for watching.